Nominal group technique is used for when a decision needs to be made quickly and everyone's opinion wants to be heard. There is usually a facilitator who may or may not be part of the group, and their responsibility is to guide members throughout the stages. The techniques consist of 4 to 5 steps depending on the source. The first one is introduction and explanation. In this steps, the members are welcome, the purpose of the meeting is set out, the process is outlined, and a healthy climate for group interaction is established. The second step is generating ideas. Each member receives a sheet of paper to record all of the ideas that come to mind in relation to the problem. This step is completely silent and brainstorming is done individually. The third step is sharing ideas. Members volunteer to share their ideas. The facilitator has a responsibility to list the ideas for other participants to see. Sometimes it's computer-based, which I consider is the best part. Throughout the process, other participants can write down new ideas that come to mind. The fourth step is discussing ideas. Facilitator encourages members to elaborate on ideas and ask questions about members to clarify the ideas. Line out the pros and cons. Facilitators encourage group members to find a way to combine the ideas and create new ones. The last step is voting. Individually, members will rank each idea each participant had. At the end, all rankings are added up, and the one with the least value is what becomes the group's decision. It is later announced to the group the decision that was finally made by them based on the rankings, and this is done to create or give them a certain type of closure to the problem. When applying this technique to the parking problem on campus, the facilitator should explain to the group why parking is such a serious problem on campus, explain to them the steps, and tell them that the goal is to find a solution to the parking problem. Each participant will be given an index card for them to write down possible solutions to the parking problem. Later, the facilitator will ask volunteers to speak out. Every member will share their idea, and then the group will discuss as to whether they think it is likely that the solution will work or whether it won't. Maybe some solutions individually will not completely solve the parking problem, but if you add together parts of those solutions, altogether they might create one big solution that will actually work and solve the problem. The last step that would better fit to solve the parking problem is voting. And once a decision has been made based on the ranking of the value given to each possible solution by each member, it would be announced to the group. The other technique is standard agenda. It consists of 6 time-tested and logical steps for solving problems and making decisions. It is one of the most accepted methods for task-oriented group decisions and discussions. The first step is defining the problem. In this step, the group considers if the problem is a matter of fact, value, or policy. Also, there must be an agreement among the members of the group as to the meaning of each term in the problem. The second step is gathering and analyzing evidence and information. The information gathered and analyzed here is related to the problem, and it is done together as a group. The third step is establishing criteria for a solution. Criteria are standards that, as a group, are used to evaluate alternative solutions. They are like the minimum requirements that should be met by a solution for it to be considered. The fourth step is generating and evaluating possible solutions. In this step, the group brainstorms possible solutions based on the information gathered in the second step. Once there is an agreement among the group about a possible solution, it is then compared to the requirements established on the third step. The fifth step here is selecting and implementing the best solution. A decision must be made about the solution that should be followed or established. It is done as a consensus in the group or voting. Then it is passed forward to those who have the responsibility of implementing the solution. The last step is monitoring the solution. After implementation has taken place, the group should look at whether the proposed solution is actually working or not. If it's not, the group has the possibility of modifying what they proposed and creating a new solution. When applying the parking problem to this technique, the group should decide what type of problem it is and decide on the meaning of each term. Information should be gathered about how many commuters does the campus have, whether they are here all day and every day, how much time they spend looking for parking, whether they believe the problem is worse during certain days or times or seasons. An important criterion to establish is that there is enough parking space for every commuter to find a spot, but also accessibility and safety are other requirements that should be considered when talking about parking. Together as a group, we should list what commuters should expect the campus to provide for them. Also, if the problem is worse during a certain period of the day, the cost should be found and addressed. A possible solution could be building a multi-level parking close to campus. Even though it meets the important criteria of space, safety is another point that should be closely evaluated with such solution. Once a decision has been made about the possible solution for the parking problem, a meeting should be arranged with campus police and President Kaplan. With them, we can decide what is realistic and what is not. This is based on the feedback we receive from them. As a group, we should sit down and hear out their feedback and put them with our solution and modify whatever we have come up with. Once it is fixed, our opinion should be sent out to them as a final proposal. If it is approved, we monitor the change by observation and asking commuters if their parking problem has been improved or not. If it has, we want to know to what extent and how. If it has not improved, we want to ask them why and make them ask suggestions about what can be done to make it better. For the parking solution problem, I think that the standard agenda fits better because this is not a problem that can be quickly fixed or independently. It's a group effort and it's really complicated to be solved in one sitting. Also, there needs to be time to research and brainstorm about it in order to create possible solutions that will actually be heard and established. Also, standard is the one that it's better fit to deal with tasks for group discussions. I also think that this problem should be given the opportunity to be modified. It won't be fixed in the first try, but if modifications are available with time and hearing out other people's suggestions, I do think that a solution will be found, but it will just take time and effort. Parking is not something that will be fixed quickly. It just needs to be continually worked on until it is completely fixed.